Free speech. It sounds absolute, almost sacred. The right to say whatever you want, whenever you want. But here's the question. Is speech ever really free? Or does every word come with a hidden price? From ancient Athens to modern democracies, societies have treated free speech as a cornerstone of liberty. But the philosophy has always been tangled. The Greek philosopher Socrates was sentenced to death for corrupting the youth with ideas. Centuries later, John Stuart Mill argued that silencing one opinion robs humanity of truth itself. So we celebrate free speech as protection against tyranny. But in practice, it's never that simple. The First Amendment, adopted in 1791 as part of the Bill of Rights, is the cornerstone of American free expression. It states in just 45 words that Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech, of the press, of religion, or the right to assemble and petition. At its core, it was written to protect citizens from government censorship, a radical idea at the time. For over 2 centuries, it has been the most cited, debated, and tested amendment in U.S. history, defining not just what people can say, but how far society is willing to let that speech go. While the Constitution protects you from being jailed for your words, it doesn't stop a company from banning you, or an employer from firing you, or a crowd from turning against you. That's where the hidden price of free speech really shows itself. The law might protect your right to speak, but society decides how much that freedom will cost you. Today, free speech doesn't just mean standing in a town square. It means tweets, viral videos, podcasts, and memes. Billions of voices amplified by algorithms. But here's where the price shows up. Freedom of speech protects your right to speak, but it doesn't guarantee people will listen. It doesn't protect you from being judged, canceled, or even silenced by private platforms. In 2022, Elon Musk bought Twitter, claiming to restore absolute free speech. But even he quickly admitted, absolute free speech is impossible. Hate speech, misinformation, incitement to violence, the line has to be drawn somewhere. And who draws that line? Governments, tech companies, or us? History reminds us that free speech is never just abstract philosophy. It's lived, felt, and often fought over in the public eye. Think of Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech in 1963. Words that began as a call for justice in Washington echoed far beyond that crowd, becoming a cornerstone of civil rights. Free speech here was not only a right, but a force of liberation. But the same freedom also gave us the Nazi propaganda of the 1930s, speeches that manipulated masses and fueled one of the darkest chapters of humanity. The world learned painfully that the same tool that uplifts can also destroy. Fast forward to modern times. The Charlie Hebdo attacks in France, 2015, ignited global debate. Is satire an expression of liberty, or can it cross into provocation with deadly consequences? Millions marched under the banner "Je suis Charlie," defending the principle that speech, however offensive, must remain free. In the United States, Colin Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem, 2016, became another flashpoint. To some, it was a powerful act of protest. To others, an insult to patriotism. The incident showed how even silent speech, a gesture, can divide nations. And then there's the digital stage. When Donald Trump was banned from Twitter in 2021, the world split in two. Was this accountability against incitement or censorship that set a dangerous precedent? A single corporate decision became a global conversation about who truly controls free speech in the 21st century. Each of these moments shows the paradox we cannot escape. Free speech is not free from consequences. It empowers, it provokes, it divides, and it unites. It is both a torch of progress and a weapon of chaos. A Pew Research survey found that 62% of Americans feel people are afraid to share their true opinions online. Why? Because the backlash can be brutal. The social cost of speaking can be isolation, harassment, even threats. In India, a comedian's joke can land him in jail. In France, hate speech laws blur the line between protecting communities and censoring dissent. And in the US, so we debate whether banning someone from Twitter is private moderation or silencing democracy. Hidden price of free speech is that it forces us into responsibility. If everyone can say anything, then we must learn to filter, to question, to tolerate. And that is exhausting. So when someone asks, isn't the speech free? The answer is yes and no. The state may not punish you, or maybe. You cannot be so sure, but society will judge you. Platforms may ban you, and your words once spoken will live forever. So ask yourself, do you truly speak freely?